play. So they've done so well. They have goals in them, and they have players who are willing to fight for the ball. They have runners in the team. I think I can't remember. Chelsea, the man who scored, got 2 goals a brace in that game against Namibia, is one to look out for. So yes, they are a good side by experience, but not too much. We need to just give them the respect to deserve and approach the game as a very important encounter.
Approach the game as a very important encounter. Respect the Palanga Negras of Angola, and Super Eagles will just get the result. I still have Mike with me here. Mike, looking at this encounter coming up today at 6 p.m. Nigerian time, what do you make of it? We understand that Stanley Nwabali, the goalkeeper for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, is back to training, and most likely will be selected, given that there's no negative doctor's report.
Yes, I think the dilemma within the goalkeeping department since Nwabali got that injury in our last game has been very, very worrisome, because why is it so worrisome is that the second keeper, the first choice, who now turned to second choice, talking about Francis Uzoho, we know of his schoolboy's error, which have actually cost us so many games out there. But then I feel from the report of feelers that we just got a few hours ago that Nwabali is back in training and he may possibly start in that very one. And for me, I think Nwabali has been able to bring that confidence, has been able to bring that belief and trust within the defense line of the Super Eagles. Unlike when we have a certain Francis Uzoho or even Okoye. You know how Okoye cost us the World Cup ticket, against Ghana as well. Since Enyama left the national team as a goalkeeper, I think we'll find it difficult, to replace him. The only man that come close was Carl Ikeme, but no thanks to, leukemia, who caught, his stay with the national team very short. So for me, I just truly believe that with Nwabali behind the sticks, it gives us that confidence going forward.
Well, Okwi, goalkeeper Nwabali is your kingsman. Tell us a little bit about what you know about Stanley Nwabali.
Yeah, I know that from his days, right from his days at Goran FC in Omoku. Yeah, he was third choice keeper at Goran FC. His reason from being third choice keeper at Goran FC to becoming #1 at Goran, and had to move around a few clubs in Nigeria before moving to Chipa United, from where he got the Super Eagles call-up. Stanley Nwabali is like my colleague there in your studio rightfully mentioned, is one that can be relied on. I remember one of his coaches, even mentioning that they told him that if he continues the way he is going, he will end up at the top. And right now he's at the top. He's giving us so much joy, and it's unfortunate, rather challenging, that he may not start today. But having said that, I keep saying this, that we don't have to wait for our players to travel abroad to begin to trust them. As Stanley Nwabali not gone to Chipa United, we may just not have, brought him to the Super Eagles, and that's my worry. Sometimes we need to look inwards. I can't believe that. I don't want to believe that in just 1 year of playing for Chipa United, he became this good. He must have been good in Nigerian League, giving us the indication that there are also players who are, equally as good or even better than Stanley Nwabali in the Nigerian Professional Football League.
Well, let's get to the other aspect of the game. Before the Nations Cup, everybody knew that Nigeria had the most fearsome attack in going to the Nations Cup, with Victor Osimhen scoring 10 goals. No other person has scored that number in the qualifiers. But at the Nations Cup proper now, the Super Eagles of Nigeria looks to be the team with the meanest defense and scoring less goals. Yes, they've considered 1 goal and scored only 5 in the process. But they're coming up against a team like Angola, like you mentioned, scored 3 goals in 1 match.
Yes, we had the best attack going into this tournament, but don't forget that 2 of those strikers, we lost them to injury. Taiwo Oni, who went on to score for Nottingham Forest over the weekend, and then of course Victor Boniface we lost him to injury. We also had that I don't know what I should call it, a confusion, a fiasco with Sali Kumar, who also went on to his club to play. And so that kind of robbed the attack of some of the players that made it, the kind of attack, fearsome attack that we had going to the tournament. But then again, one of the problems with high scoring teams that they also tend to concede high, because sometimes when you score so many goals, you get into this false sense of security, I intend to leave your spaces behind you that you could also be punished from. That's one thing about the Super Eagles team. I think Pesero has realized that you build strong teams from the defense, and we've done that, and we've built our team from the defense. A team that used to concede goals, we locked up those spaces, and now we concede very little goals, and we have scored too. We have currently 5 goals in this tournament from 4 games, which is not a bad return at all for a team like Super Eagles. Yeah, I know we can do more, we can do better by converting on chances we create, and if we do that, we're going to be unstoppable in this battle.
Well, still with you, Okwi. Going to this tournament, most Nigerians didn't believe in Coach Pasero. In fact, going by the result of the games he had before the Nations Cup, everybody felt that Pasero was a journeyman and he wasn't going to take us far. But right now, he seems to be earning some respect, and this is what he said just a few hours ago ahead of this encounter against Angola. He said, "We want to keep this capacity to score. We create opportunities as well, and at the same time, concede less. At the same time, according to him, he wants to keep the good block on the defense line and play with organization and not let the opponent score." It looks like Pasero now has a pattern of play which is defense conscious and taking your chances on the break.
Yeah, Mr. If you recall clearly, Pesero was brought on just after we lost we lost that World Cup ticket to Ghana. No thanks to Francis Usoho and his efforts in the post. And he had not really had time. This is his first major tournament with the Super Eagles. And this is the first time Pesero will be having close to what resembles 14 days, 2 weeks to a month with the team. It's the first time he would, he will stamp his imprint, his authority, his style on the team. All we've had all he has had before now, 2 days, maybe 3 days. They come into camp. After 3 days, they play the qualifier, and then they all go back. And then, of course, you won't blame Nigerians for thinking we thought. The results have not favored Pesero and his backroom staff. But for the first time, we are seeing a coach who also is beginning to let us know he has some things upstairs. We from the first game, changing the pattern from the first game from 4-3-3 to a 5-3-2 formation in the second game, and then kept that on, and then we saw the magic that formation gave us against a team as well as Lions of Cameroon. So you want to begin to see, yes, so no wonder he was clamoring, he was asking that they should allow him go to the Nations Cup. It's been his dream to take the team to the Nations Cup, and he wanted that dream to come true. Maybe he felt like that was a better stage to actually properly showcase what he had, and we are beginning to see that in the Super Eagles play.
Create a good block. That's what Pesero says. He wants to create a good block and at the same time not concede goal for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Tonight at 6 p.m. Nigerian time, it will be the Super Eagles up against their counterparts from Angola. Okwi, I stay with you on this one. For the first time, we do not hear any ripples around the Super Eagles camp. No issues around bonuses and the co, which a common fixture when we play at major tournaments.
Yes, before the tournament, our president Bola Tinubu, team to help to clear some of the backlog of bonuses that were owed these players, and it was really terrible finding out that some of the games they played 2-3 years ago, they didn't go for it. Personal salaries were cleared, and the backlog of these bonuses were cleared, and so that put the team on a proper pedestal to go into this tournament thinking of football and football alone. Players need to concentrate on the game. It's a tough job playing football for playing football for a living. It's a tougher job in representing a giant like Nigeria. You're always under pressure to perform, and so players need to always concentrate on the game, not to begin to think about it. So I think that's what we have. I think this we have gotten it right. Although sometimes during tournaments like this, you don't hear the rumors until maybe 3, 4, 5 months. So that isn't the case this time around. If we really want to do well and go all the way to lifting this trophy, I think these are some of the issues begin to look into when we go to tournaments like this. Make sure the players concentrate, eat football, think football, and play football.
Super Eagles of Nigeria in a very calm and relaxed atmosphere ahead of the encounter against their counterparts from Angola. But let's look at the Angolan side, Okwi. Talking about Angola here, they emerged as group leaders at the group stage of the competition, and they've remained unbeaten. At the Nations Cup, we had 12, at the beginning of this Nations Cup, we had 12 former champions, and 12 teams that have never, or countries that have never won the Nations Cup before. Right now, we have only 4 remaining, and the Super Eagles of Nigeria happen to be one of the former champions, 3 times winners of the competition, up against a team, Angola, that has never gone beyond the group stage in the last 14 years. They've never gone past the group stage. Now, they are at the quarterfinal stage. What does pedigree mean between Nigeria and Angola in this one?
I want one man who does like to look at the football is a very, very funny game. You take your chances on the day, and you just may emerge victorious. You refuse to take your chances, and you may go home empty-handed. If what happened between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the national tournament of Equatorial, we should have wrapped up that game, but we failed to take our chances, and then we ended up drawing that one. It could have cost us qualification for the national, but thankfully enough, we made amends and we qualified. Like on the day, like I said, Angola is no team to underrate. Remember, they were in the 2006 World Cup, courtesy of knocking Super Eagles out. They've been there and they've had the experience. Yes, it's not the same for players, but there are players who they can rely on. There are people who the players can talk to for some sound advice. You don't underrate a team like Angola. Pedigree or no pedigree is what 11 men versus 11 men, 11 Eagles versus 11 Antelos on the day. Whoever takes his chances, carries the day. So I don't like to talk about pedigree when it comes to knockout football. Knockout football is one very funny area where you don't want to make any mistake. You make any mistake and you can pay dearly for it.
Make mistake and you pay dearly for it. We hope the Super Eagles won't make their mistakes or at this quarter-final fixture coming up by 6 p.m. at the Hofebeone Stadium in Cote d'Ivoire. But Mike, let's look at officiating. So far, this competition. We've seen what looks like excellent officiating. In fact, analysts have judged it to be over 80%. Tonight in Abidjan, it will be a Senegalese referee at the center between when Nigeria will take on their counterparts from Angola. What do you make of this Senegalese officiating coming up tonight?
I think for me, looking at the officiating generally, I would say that they have actually lived up to the billing because we've really had some controversial calls out there, unlike what it is before. And again, I think the adoption of the VAR have also helped the center ref as well to be able to manage the game professionally, because there are some calls that, some tackles that the center ref might not be very close, to the peak of the action, but then after some VR review, they have to call him and he go out there to take a look at the screen and be able to make a proper decision. So if you ask me, I want to say that the referees, they've actually lived up to the billing. I think it has, for me, within the range of 10, I'll give them 8% of, proper officiating so far.
Well, let's look at the other encounter Equi tonight. Apart from the Super Eagles playing Angola at 6 p.m., there is yet another quarter-final pairing, and that is an encounter between the Democratic Republic of Congo, a former champion, against Guinea. Talking about the Congolese side, they've shown somehow that in this competition, they've not been able to win, but they have progressed to the quarter-final stage now. And talking about their opponent, Guinea, they too are regular, qualifiers, from the group stage, but they don't progress beyond the quarter-final stage of the competition. What do you make of this encounter? Congo DR, former champion, up against Guinea, the Silly Stars of Guinea.
Mr. Perry, this is one encounter where it's really difficult to call, because if you look at the way both teams are progressed, just like you rightly mentioned, there's really nothing to take away from them. It's a 50-50 chance. But I like quickly about Guinea. They came into this tournament, I know people didn't give them any chance to progress from the group stages. I remember when we were talking about the AFCON, in one of our programs, I didn't really give them any chance of going through the past group stage. Not to talk about things, but they have been steady their progress. They've taken out their opponent, one after the other, and here they are in the quarterfinal. So if they do well today, if they put their ass together, just like we've seen them do from the beginning, the national elephant of Guinea, the Silly Stars, could make it to the semi-final for the first time. I think it's going to be the first time in their history of getting to the semi-final if they do that. Then for the Congo, the leopards of Congo, they have some very experienced players in their ranks. Someone like Swaku, we all know Maswaku. They have some very experienced players around, and I think that has helped them to get to the stage where they are today. So I won't be surprised if it goes. I'm not going to someone. I won't be surprised if it gets to penalties, and then maybe the luckier part of the day may just have to take.
Well, it is a quarter-final fixture. There must be a winner after 90 minutes. If there's no goal or the separating goal, then it has to go to extra time. If there's none, still after extra time, it has to go to the luxury of penalties. We've seen a couple of penalties at the round of 16, and it's been very exciting. We hope we can see some more. But I'm sure nobody wants to see that in the encounter between Nigeria and their counterparts from Cote d'Ivoire. Well, that will be it for this edition of the program. Quickly, gentlemen, one word each from the both of you. We now know that Asisat Oshoala has left FC Barcelona, to FCB in the United States of America. Good move or a bad one for Africa's best player?
Good move, good move. It's about time. He's no longer on the side, and
well, I think we're having a little bit of network issues there. Quickly, Mike, one word about the movement of Asisat.
Good move for her.
Good move, and that is it for this edition of Sports Talk. Definitely we'll be back at about 5:30 for a 6 p.m. Sports Extraordinary when the Super Eagles of Nigeria will take on their counterparts from Angola. We wish the Super Eagles the very best of luck. But until then, remember, peace and unity are clearly pathways to progress. Always enjoy here on Atlantic Television Network.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable
You are a human trafficker.